you think Topuria is all of that people talk about it? Like,
The only time I've seen Topuria go a little bit further into the distance is with Emmett and also with Max. To be honest with you, if it wasn't for the low kicks, I think Max Holloway was actually landing the better strikes. So that being said, do I think Topuria is all that? I think he's pretty incredible.
Mr. Benny, I'm gonna call you Benny because I know a bunch of we have a bunch of friends in common. They all call you Benny. How's it going, man?
Good, brother. How are you?
Good, good. Thank you so much for taking the time and doing this. How's life? How's everything going?
Life is good, man. I'm training, hanging out with my kids, and teaching a little bit as well.
That's pretty. You're teaching your school. You got 2 schools now, right?
Just one. I'm in Anaheim, Kings MMA Anaheim.
Oh, that's right. That's right. That's what it is. I confused with Romulo. I think Romulo has 2.
Yeah, yeah. Oh,
nearby.
He's the man.
His probably has like 15 right now, but right next to you guys is we're talking to. Look, I wanted to check about Kings. You guys still training at Kings? What happened with the MMA team at Kings?
I train in Anaheim, and I'm not sure. I think HB doesn't have a professional program anymore, but because of my kids, because of my everything, it's a lot easier for me to train in Anaheim. So I've been doing my camps in Anaheim.
Pretty cool. Can still bring like a bunch of quality guys. You guys have a lot of quality people there too to train, right? It's pretty cool.
Yeah,
it's pretty good there.
Yeah, my teammates are pretty much still the same people. Yeah.
Okay, pretty cool, pretty cool. Look, we have some news floating around about a fight with Manuel Torres, and it was funny because I reached out to you before the news about the fight, but anything you can talk about it? Is it confirmed? Is it not? You have a different name in mind?
Yeah, I've been told it's basically done, but they also said the same thing for February 28th, and then March 7th, and then now April. So I'm still waiting to see what exactly is going to happen.
Oh, okay, I see it. I saw from the news I saw it says April 11.
Yeah.
If it's April, man, it's gonna be Miami. I'm leaving Florida now, so I'll probably drive down there to see you. It will be really cool to see you fight. I love seeing you fight.
Not a bad place to fight. Yeah, I've been to Miami a few times. It's pretty nice.
Yeah, most people don't know that, but we did a conversation maybe 3 years ago. I think it was 2021 during crazy times we were going through. We were doing like a fight by fight, whatever you could remember. I don't know if you remember that. He was so good. I watched that a couple of days ago before I reached out to you. I was asking you. We were going through every fight you had at the point, at that point in the UFC, and I was just like, just tell me something curious you remember about that, and that's one of my favorite episodes ever to this day.
I appreciate that, bro. I was like, man, was I analyzing my own fights or is it other people's fights? But
no. I was just like, whatever. I will give you a name that you fought. And I was just like, just tell me something you remember from that day. It was really cool. There was some curious things. It was really good. Look, tell me about lightweight division. What's next to you? How do you see 2026 with this crazy Paramount deal? Do you think they will be putting together more exciting fights and like the amplitude of all of this, like the reach is going to be crazy. How are you feeling about all of this?
It's weird. I'm in kind of a different stage in my career. I'm at a point where I'm just taking one fight at a time. My next fight could be my last fight, or I could have more fights. I really don't know. It's just a one-step game. That being said, the Paramount deal, I think is, yeah. I don't really know. I don't exactly have an exact timeline, but it's just taking it one fight at a time. We'll see what I feel like after each fight.
Just like, oh, I see. Based on how you feel after.
Yeah. It's just gonna be based on what I feel after. That being said, I feel great.
Yeah, I was gonna say, how old are your kids now?
I got a
Because
4-year-old who's gonna turn 5 in June. I got a 2-year-old who's about to turn 3 in a month, and then I got a
okay,
1-year-old. So I'm busy.
yeah, I know. But I was trying to get to the point where like as they get older, it's harder for you too. It's such a ungrateful job, right? Like sometimes you go there, you come back on top of the world, and sometimes you just have a bad night, and the kids are watching. All of that take all of that in consideration.
Yeah, I guess that's true, but I mean, they're not quite old enough to understand that stuff yet. It just
Hmm.
the truth is, man, I've been in the UFC for 12 years, and that's where I'm at. So yeah, I just take it one fight at a time. My next fight could be the last one. I honestly don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens after the fight. I don't wanna rush or anything, but I'm obviously preparing very hard and trying to do my best. I'm excited for the future, whether I'm fighting or coaching or whatever. I'm still planning on being part of MMA.
Pretty cool, pretty cool. Look, from a Brazilian fan. You've been doing great. You had a hiccup on your last fight, but before that, you beat Moicano. Moicano was super hyped when you got to him, and he won fair and square. It was a pretty decent fight too. How do you feel about all this movement going on in your division with Charles and Max for the BMF? They sitting Arman, Ilya Topuria wants to move up. How do you see all of that? What's a
I mean, Ilya is a big factor, right? He's a champion. We really don't know what he's gonna do. If he does move up to 170, so then the interim becomes a champion. But if he chooses to defend his belt, he'll fight Justin Gagey. That's the fight right there. I think Arman will probably end up just waiting, or he'll fight again. I honestly don't know. We'll see what
yeah?
happens in a little bit. Um, the real interesting thing is, you know, the question where everybody wants to know if Ilya will fight Islam. And to be honest with you, I don't know if it's gonna happen the next fight. Maybe if they both win their next fights, maybe possibly, but I don't think it's gonna happen instantly. And then finally, Charles Oliveira and Max Holloway. That's gonna be a fantastic fight. They've both gotten much older and much more mature and more violent. Both of them have become more violent. Can you believe that?
It's so
That's
so crazy, right?
Yeah, they've become more violent. So I'm looking forward to that fight.
I do a bunch of analysis like frame by frame with one kid that does the scouting for Shoot Box. So before the Charles fight with Ilya Topuria, he was telling me all the strategy, and of course I didn't talk about it publicly, but he was telling me what the strategy is and everything. And then after the fight, because we saw what happened, I was like, man, what happened? He said, look, we all sat down with Charles, and he was like, man, I was feeling good. I said, damn it, I'm just gonna go for it. It's like, what happened to the strategy, man?
Yeah. I mean, you could see it too. Charles is much taller than him, and instead
Yeah,
of fighting at a distance, he chose to like go in. And he's like, "Well, a taller guy. I'll use my elbows when I'm inside." And he did. He landed some elbows. He was doing well in the clinch, but he tried to throw Ilya. But he tried to essentially run at Ilya, which not too many people could do, right? So it was however you want to look at it, I still thought it was a good performance.
he was. He was. Do you think he'll try to bully him a little bit because I'm the bigger guy? Did you think that sometimes that plays a factor?
I think he may have tried that, and obviously it didn't play in his favor. Yeah, but
Yeah,
but
yeah,
I think
right.
I think what really happened was he went into the fight and he just felt good, and he's like, "Man, I feel good. Why am I gonna hold back?"
That's exactly what he was. He was like, I was just feeling so good. I was like, all right, maybe now he's gonna be more. Do you think if Holloway points down, he's gonna go for it?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean, but
one
I'll tell you
one
this:
hundred percent, right?
I don't think Holloway points down in the first round, the second round. It'll be in the fourth or the fifth round. Max is very intelligent. You have to understand. He has great footwork. He has great movement, and trying to catch him is the hard part. And as and then once you get to the fourth and the fifth round, nobody has his speed. So even in the fourth and the fifth round, he starts pointing to the ground is because he has a speed advantage. He's gonna find, he's gonna find your chin. I don't think he'll do that in the first or the second round.
And as a Brazilian fan of Charles, I hope he doesn't because, like you say, like 100% Charles is gonna go for it. Like
Yeah.
we were talking, and I was like, look, do you think after what happened to Topuria, Charles will be like, no, I'll stay in my strategy. He's like, dude, if he points down, Charlie's going with a flying kick right over. I was like, oh boy,
I
that's
think
not
so
good.
too. I mean,
That's not good.
that's what made Charles Charles. That's what made him so good. And so I don't think people want to see a different Charles. I think the closest you got to a different Charles, and um, maybe was the a second Michael Chandler fight. He fought very strategic. Obviously,
Yeah,
he won the fight in a great way. I thought that was a good fight for him, but it's obvious. It's almost like he didn't enjoy it. Like you look at his face, and he didn't look like he was having fun in there. So
yeah.
I think he'll go back to his own style.
He says that in Brazil, it's a big. It's not a joke on Charles. It's a joke about what he says all the time. Because people go like, "Hey, do you think?" He's like, "Look, I got fire on my hands. I'm gonna march forward, and I'm gonna show them the power I have." And people go like, "Don't do it, please."
Yeah,
It's so crazy. Do you think so? What I think is gonna happen is Topuria is gonna fight Gagey to unify the belt. I think the UFC hit a major uh, jackpot on that, right? For the maybe for the White House and everything, because
yeah,
I think that they want to like the American guy coming in with the flag and everything. So I think
yeah.
they have the whole scenario there, right? With that.
Yeah, and I mean, if Patty had won too, it would have been another jackpot if you think about it.
But then somewhere else, probably, right? Like
Yeah, yeah,
they'll
yeah, yeah.
probably do it
So
like in
the UFC played its options well for sure. There's
yeah,
no doubt about that. I think the White House card makes a lot of sense right now. We don't have any American champions, and Justin Gaethje is our top candidate to be able to get one. And
exactly.
he's tough task for him, but I mean, I think it's possible. Anything's possible.
Very tough test for him, especially now. If it was maybe a few years before, I'll say he would be more dangerous. But I don't think he can stop Topuria now. And then Topuria moves up. How do you see his chances against Islam? And what do you think about Islam as a fighter and Topuria as a fighter? Do you think Topuria is all of that people talk about it? Like,
The
I mean,
only time the only time I've seen Taporio go a little bit further into the distance is with Emmett and also with Max.
yes,
To be honest with you, if it wasn't for the low kicks, I think Max Holloway was actually landing the better strikes.
I agree.
So that being said, do I think Taporia is all that? I think he's pretty incredible. I think he's a very well-rounded fighter. He understands distance and he understands when to change gears. He recognized that he couldn't keep up with the speed of Holloway, so he cut out his legs. He sees that with other guys. They may be fast. He starts to work the body, and once he works the body, people's hands start to go down, and then he goes up top. Um, as far as fighting Islam, I just think there's a big size difference.
Do you think
You know,
they'll play a big factor?
I think the fight at 155 would have been much better for Ilya. I think at 155, Ilya had a very good shot. At 170, I don't think so. At 55, I would have put it 50-50. If
Oh
not, if
wow,
anything, I would have probably get a favored Ilya because he doesn't have to cut a lot of weight. He's pretty strong for the division. He has massive punching power. He has great jiu-jitsu. He's in a good position. And if the fight goes into round 3, 4, 5, he's going to be the fresher guy because he's not cutting weight. But at 170, it's a massive weight difference, and Islam doesn't have to cut weight, not too
yeah,
much weight,
that's
anyways.
yeah, not too much. Island looks like a giant guy right now. So
Yeah,
yeah, yeah, that makes sense. Look, I have a little fun thing here for us to do before I let you go. Okay.
sounds good.
Uh, I'll give you a fighter, and you just pick your favorite fighter. All right. Just consider prime. Every name I'm gonna throw here, just consider them on their prime. Okay.
Okay,
So I'm gonna start with Islam Makhachev or BJ Penn.
Islam Makhachev.
Okay. Islam Makhachev or Dustin Poirier.
Nah, Islam Makhachev. He's more. I like the fact that he's so well rounded.
Islam Makhachev or Conor McGregor.
Islam Makhachev.
Islam Makhachev or Tony Ferguson.
Tony Ferguson. Tony. Listen, Tony. For a while he was different and he was special, and I still think he's awesome. And Tony's a California guy, Southern California guy. I see him all the time, and there's just something special about Tony.
Pretty cool. I like that. Tony Ferguson or Charles Oliveira.
Charles Oliveira. Yeah. Yeah, you gotta. Sometimes you're a fan of fighters too. I'm just a
that's
fan of
pretty
Charles.
That's pretty cool. The first time we had a chat here, you were trying to get a fight with Charles, and
Yeah.
you were kind of mad because he was doing to you what they did to him, right?
Yeah,
like
yeah.
when he got to the top 5 and people didn't want to fight him, then he got there and you were like having the same kind of
Yeah.
trouble. Charles Oliveira or Justin Gaethje?
Charles Oliveira.
All right, last two. Charles Oliveira or Khabib Nurmagomedov?
This one's hard. This one's actually really hard. I'll go Charles Oliveira.
Oh, wow. People in Brazil are going to love you for that. And then the last one, Charles Oliveira or Ilia Topuria?
Charles Oliveira. Look at Charles's history. Charles has had such a long history. Ilya's kind of young in the sport. And it's crazy. He's so good, but he's young. You know what it is? What's so great about Charles's story? It's a Cinderella story, right? He came up and then he crashed pretty hard, and then came up again, crashed again, and then
That's true.
finally, he soared. And I think people love that.
Yeah, I agree. And he's very relatable too. He's such a nice guy. Just like you are, man. I wish you the best always. You are one of my favorite fighters, so that's
Thank
why
you, brother.
I always try to insist and do something with you. Anything for us to finish that you wanna talk or share or anything?
No, I just want to thank all the fans, man. It's been an awesome ride. Hopefully we get a few more together.
Awesome, man. Can't wait to see you back there. I hope you do well with all your training. If this fight works, I'll be there cheering for you, man, always.
Sounds good, brother. Take care.
Hey, take care, Lenny. Thank you.